Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to make a working bee farm. Now, this is not an automatic bee farm, but I feel like a lot of people haven't actually gone over how to make a just working bee farm itself, and especially with the new updates in 1.18.2. Now, if you're just here to figure out how to actually make it, what you're going to do is just build a structure that's big enough for 1 or 2 or however many hives you want in it. Make sure it has a little bit of room though, it doesn't have to be this big. And then for the contraption itself, what you're going to need is 1 fire pit and then 4 trapdoors surrounding that, and then put either a bee hive or bee nest on top of it. And then, obviously you need bees, and you need flowers in the little, wherever you're keeping this. But yeah, then you go ahead and just take shears and right click on whatever you have, a beehive or nest, and then you got honeycomb. So that's a little bit of a quicker explanation if you're just here for that. Now, if you actually want to learn how to make everything including this and how to make this structure that I am in and how to get bees and, you know, all that stuff, just stick around. And yeah, let's get on with the video. So as you can see, this is my little container. This is different. Just ignore that. But this is the actual thing. You're going to need these materials on the screen to make the actual structure, not the stuff inside of it, but just the actual structure. No, it does not need to be glass. It can be whatever you want. I like to use glass because it's kind of cool to like look at the bees inside, but you don't have to do that. And then to build it, it is 5 blocks and then 1 and then 5 blocks and then 1 and then 5 blocks and then 1 and then 5 blocks and then 1. It is 3 high, and then from there I kind of just started to layer up the sides. I will show you kind of the dimensions on the screen right now. But yeah, it's a pretty simple building. I honestly don't think it really matters what it looks like, but I would just say that that's a pretty good base to start with. And yeah, so once you have the structure, make sure you have obviously grass blocks inside here. You want to have, so you can place flowers, because one of the things you have to do, bees, in order to pollinate the hives or nests, whatever you have in there, you do need flowers because the bees need that to pollinate. And so you're gonna have to put the flowers inside of it. Just make sure you have at least like 3, I would say, especially, it depends how many hives or nests you have. If you have 2, I would go ahead and do like at least 5, but more is better. So in order to make this contraption thing on the screen right now, what you're going to need is, like I said, I keep saying hive or nest. What I mean by that is this is a nest and this is a hive. Now, in order to actually get a nest, you're going to need to go into somewhere in the wild, in Minecraft, I mean, obviously. And what you're going to do is you're going to need something with silk touch. It doesn't actually have to be a pickaxe. I mean, it's faster if it's pickaxe, but if you have like a shovel, that would work too. It just needs to have silk touch. And what you're going to do is just, now you want to try to get the bees to go into the nest before you take it, and they will probably get mad at you if you break it, because sometimes if you break it, they do get mad at you for that. So just be careful. But if you go ahead and just mine the hive, obviously now I have a bee nest. And like I said, you can either try to get the bees to go into it first so that they're inside, which I did not do, or you can just simply find a bee somewhere and take a lead and attach it to the bee and get it to go wherever your base is. Or you can take flowers, because kind of like how wheat is to sheep, flowers are to bees. So if you use flowers, you can get the bees to follow you, and same idea with that. But you are going to need a nest. In here though, you can use a nest. You do not have to use a hive. But if you want to be a little more professional, or you start getting more honey, you can make a hive, which looks a little bit fancier, and you can make more of them. You don't have to go and keep finding hot nests everywhere. So to make a hive, you're going to use 6 planks of your choice, doesn't matter what kind of plank, and then 3 honeycomb in the middle, kind of like a little sandwich, a little honey sandwich. And yeah, so then from there you will get this, and that way you can have more of them. And it really depends. If you really just want 1, I would just use the nest, but if you end up wanting more, then you can always add on, and that way you don't have to actually go out and find nests every time you want to add on. So the next thing you're going to need 4 trapdoors. Now, 6 planks of any planks. I usually use spruce just because I feel like the spruce trapdoor looks the best with the hives usually, but you can use whatever you want, it doesn't matter. And what you're going to do is just place 6 planks, doesn't matter which one, like I said, just whatever trapdoor you want. 6 planks at the bottom, just don't put any in the top row, and yeah, it's pretty simple. You've probably used that recipe before, and you need 4 of those, so you're going to have to do that 2 times, meaning you're going to need 12 total planks. Now the final thing, which I think is kind of the most complex, is the fire pit. Now for this you're going to need 3 sticks and 1 coal, and then any 3 logs, doesn't matter what type of log. And yeah, so that right there, I'm not going to explain how to put it in the crafting table, but that is how you do it. And yeah, so you're going to need one of these, one of either of those, and then you're going to need 4 trapdoors. So this is the layout of the actual base, and then from there, you can just go ahead and build that up by 2 extra blocks, so 3 total height. And then once you do that, you can just kind of build in like this. Just keep building it up until you get to the very top. And yeah, there you go. Now you are going to need a door of your choice or just something so that the bees can't escape. If you don't have a door for some reason, you can use blocks, but then you're going to have to replace those because they will escape. They can get through 1 by 1 holes, so you have to make sure that there's no openings. And then I am in a snow biome. It does not matter what biome you're in, by the way. But if you are, just make sure that the grass is showing. And then you can either use bone meal or just some flowers. You don't have to have grass as long as you have flowers. It does not matter what type of flowers it is as long as there's some, but I'll just go ahead and do that because I think it just looks a little nicer, and then you can just add some like random flowers here and there. I'm just going to do a bunch because I might have to delete some. But so here we go. We're just going to place our campfire down first, and then you're going to need 4 blocks around. So if you're placing them next to each other, that won't work. You don't have to put the trapdoors. I just think it makes it look a lot better and a lot more professional. And the bees can die in the fire, so you don't want to like have that open really, but I mean you could if you wanted to. So you're just going to place all 4 trapdoors around the side like that, and then you can just right click and click them all up. And then you're going to have to shift and right click kind of, you can also just do that. You can use a block behind it. Make sure that you have the nest or the hive on top, and the smoke could kind of come through it, but that is because when you actually shear and get the honeycomb out of the beehive, the bees will actually attack you, so you want to be very careful with that, and that is why the fire pit is there. That is simply so that you don't get attacked every time you go and harvest your beehive. So if we want to just do that again, it's very simple, literally just 1, 2, 3, 4, place your campfire in the middle, close those all up, and then place that on top. And just like that, you have 2 working hives. So now, the next step, if you haven't already, if you do end up using a nest, like I said, you can get the bees to go into them first, and then you have a nest with a bee in it, and then the bee will just come out of the nest when it wants to. But if you didn't get bees already, just get a flower of some sort. It doesn't have to be a cornflower, it can be any flower. And as you can see, like I said before, they do follow you. So what you can do is just go ahead and go over here and then get them to come in here. And yeah, now as long as you have bees in here, you have to have at least 1 bee. You can also breed them. So if you just right click on 2 bees with a flower or 2 different flowers in your hand, then they have a little tiny bee. And that is how you can kind of keep the population going. And if you want to add more nests or hives or whatever you want, that is how you kind of get more bees to come in. If I put away the flowers, they are uninterested in me, and they'll probably go back into the hive. But don't expect them to be in there all the time. They won't always be in there. They'll actually be out here a lot because that's how they pollinate. So they do need to be out with the flowers. But yeah, that is literally it. It is actually pretty simple. If you do have any questions in the comments, just let me know because I know it can be kind of confusing. But as you can see now, the bee's little butt is like pollinated, and now it will go into the hive at some point, and then that's when it starts to, you know, actually pollinate the hive. And you're not gonna have honeycomb right away. You just gotta be patient. But when there is honey inside of the comb, then you're gonna notice that it's kind of pouring out of it. Or if it's a nest, same thing. You'll notice that there's honey inside the little holes. Once it looks like that, then you go ahead and just use shears, which you can craft by 2 iron ingots, and right click on it, and then it should give you. Usually gives you 3 honeycomb. Yeah, as you can see, all the bees just went inside of the hive, but that can happen. And yeah, there are a couple different things you can do with honeycomb. My favorite is either honey blocks, which are really fun, but also, like my previous video, candles. So you can actually use honeycomb to make candles. There's a tag up in the corner if you want to check that out. But yeah, I love bees in Minecraft. I think they're so cute, and I think this is actually pretty simple to make. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share the video. Check out my merch at teespring.com/stores/fruitsable19. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!